Welcome back or welcome to my channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Kiy-Lee and I'm 15 years old, not 14, 15 years old. And in today's video, I will be talking about reasons why I do not, just hear me out before you click off, reasons why I have a love-hate relationship with school. Now, I am well aware that not many students or kids my age are a fan of school, and I completely agree with that. The work is hard. It's a lot of hard work. It's a bunch of just constant talking. You have to do this, you have to do that, you have this to do. But I want to state some pros and cons of going to school. Now, I am homeschooled, but for 4 years I went to public school. I did 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade. In the middle of 4th grade, I was pulled out of school, left public school and put into homeschool because a girl gave me whiplash by pulling the back of my ponytail, coming in from recess, and I got whiplash. And that was the day we decided I would not be attending public school anymore. And along with that, my brother was just gone ahead and pulled out. But I have been doing public school ever since 4th grade. No, I've been doing, not public school, I've been doing homeschool ever since 4th grade, the middle of 4th grade, and I'm currently going to 10th grade this year. So I've been doing it for a while, and there are pros and cons when it comes to school, but not only school, what school you go to and how you use your time in school, whether it is you using it to play and make friends or if you're actually using it to learn. I will say not all schools are the same at all. I am public school, and I keep saying I'm public school. I am homeschooled with K-12 Virtual Academy. I am homeschooled. But there's a huge difference just by the way teachers grade and stuff from public school, being that it is online. And I wanted to state a few pros and cons of being in school. So I want to go ahead and just knock out the negative and talk about the cons. Now, the cons for being in school. There is so much work that has to go into it. I'm going to talk about high school because I went over the amount of, the age range for people that watch my channel, and I'm starting to see that it's mostly 18 to 34 in age range, and then there's also a few people in my age range. I'm 15, and there's also a few people up in the 50s and 60s, but mostly 18 to 34. So if you're fresh out of school, or if you're still in school, you may be able to relate to this. I know school back in the day versus now is completely different. The work they're teaching is completely different. But I still want to talk about it. So some cons. For one, there's a bunch of schoolwork. I'm not sure if it's for public school or not, but I know for us, they choose at the end of the year to start cramming you with work. All of a sudden, I got essays that you need done. You had all year to do this. The end of the year, I have 1 more week left of live classes, and all of a sudden you want to pull out, oh, you got an essay, oh, you got to write about this. What? Are you crazy? You had all this time. Now, I did finish 9th grade, which is high school for us. I know some school grading thing is different, but I finished 9th grade, from the year 2024 to 2025, year 2025 to 2026, I'm going to 10th grade, and for homeschool, for me, we had it to where our classes were split up. You had 3 classes a day, each were 1 hour, and for the first semester, I had science, PE, or health, and math, and then second quarter I had ELA and history. I did not like having ELA and history in the same semester, only because that one would give you essays, and it felt like 3 days later, the second class was giving you an essay. So now you had two essays or research papers to do for one class, and it was kind of just one of those things where it was stumbling. Because it's just like, alright, I have this to do, but then this teacher just gave me this research paper. And it was a little confusing. So, I personally didn't really like having history and ELA in the same semester. But at the same time, it is what it is. And you can't pick your classes for each semester. I mean, you can pick what you want your alternatives to be. And if you want to do standard or honors. I will say my favorite subject, though, for K-12 has gotten to been science. I used to be a huge math kid. I know, don't come for me. I used to love math. I was really good at it. Now I'm alright at math. I mean, I have my parts where I'm like really, really good in it, and then I have my parts where I'm just like, yeah, no, I don't think I want to do this. I don't think I get this at all. But I used to love math. Now math is one of my least favorite subjects, and I've grown to love science. Would I become a science teacher or anything with science? Probably not, because I want to be a YouTuber. But it is definitely my favorite subject currently. I have also my favorite teachers that I've met that are really nice, and most of the teachers at K-12 are pretty nice. Everybody's so nice. You may get one or two teachers that are mean, but the students are nice, teachers are nice. It is kind of hard to get in though, because once all the seats are filled up, you have to wait. So the earlier you can try and sign up if you wanted to go to K-12 homeschool, the better. But they send you everything you need. They send you your computer, they send you your books, they send you charger, mouse, headset, all of that. So you don't really need to buy anything. You just need to have a setup area, and then if you were to leave K-12 or change your mind, you just have to send everything back. But they'll send you the shipping label and stuff, so you'll have what you need. But again, cons of going to school. Public school, there is a risk, a 50-50 chance you could run the risk of being bullied. Some students aren't as nice as others are, which is completely unfair, but some students aren't as nice as others are. So when going to public school or starting public school, especially if you're starting a new school, so if you're going to a different school or if you're starting high school or middle school, you have to keep in mind some students are not going to be nice as others, and you have to kind of ignore that. And I feel like a con, another con about public school is that you can easily be persuaded into being in friend groups and hanging out with people you do not need to be hanging out with, especially if they're not up to anything good. Because in public school, there are students everywhere. There's constantly students talking and doing some of this stuff, doing some of that stuff, and it's easy to be persuaded, especially if you see a lot of students doing the same thing, because then in your brain and the human brain, it's going to click. They're doing that, and that makes them look cool, and they're in that big friend group. Let me try that and see if I can get in that friend group or be part of this, what seems to be cool type thing. But in reality, it's just not something you should have to do if you don't want to. That's the second con. Third con, when it comes to dress code, in some ways it can be a con if you have certain clothes you like to wear. But when it comes to hoodies and hats, now I completely agree with clear backpacks, just so that you can ensure that you don't see anything bad in somebody's backpack walking past them. So I have no problem with the clear backpacks at all, and I think that is a great rule. I wish they would have had that sooner. But hoodies and hats, I feel like it shouldn't be a rule for some schools that you cannot wear a hoodie and a hat in a classroom, because some students may not have had their hair done, or maybe having a bad hair day, or just want to have their hoodie over their head. Now I understand if a student has their hoodie over their head and can't Okay, I'm back. I understand if you cannot see their hat. I mean, if you cannot see their face, if their hoodie is completely over their face, and you cannot see their face or identify that it's even that student that is supposed to be in your class, inside your class. But if they're just casually wearing a normal hat, like a plain hat, or have a hoodie over their head, I don't really see the problem, like, with that. Now, I do get the dress code if you are wearing something completely revealing, or something inappropriate, or a shirt that may have something offensive or inappropriate on it, then I completely agree with the standard of having to take a student out and bring them to the principal or whatever, because you do not. I feel like some students don't understand the fact that some things you just shouldn't bring to school, you shouldn't wear to school, or shouldn't particularly advertise on clothing. Or verbally, if it's something bad, keep it off of school grounds. But that's really all the cons I have. Now, pros. For one, you can meet new people. Now, it is up to you if you decide to put yourself in a situation where you are hanging around negative people. That is up to you. That is completely up to you. You can learn new things. Honestly, school is a place where you can either learn good or bad things. Again, it's up to you on what you learn and what you decide to take into your brain as something good. Okay, I'm back again. That is completely up to you if you want to take that information and use it for good or bad. Now, I just thought about this other con, but I do not approve or respect anybody that is disrespectful to teachers, especially if a teacher is just trying to help you. Ooh, there's a glare on my camera. There we go. Especially if a teacher is just trying to teach you. I do not authorize you being disrespectful to any adult. I don't support minors or young adults being disrespectful to adults or elderly. Adults and elderlies are to be respected. Now, I'm not saying if a elderly or an adult is like not respecting you at all, then that's when you should probably tell another adult. But just simply disrespecting a teacher or being mean to a teacher for no reason, I do not think that's a good idea at all. But back to pros. Another pro is you have the ability to be free with who you want to talk to. If you see somebody that you don't think is bad, they haven't shown any signs of doing bad things on school grounds or bad things on, like, bad activities, then yeah, go make friends. But I also know there's some people out there who don't want to make friends, and that is completely okay if you don't want to make friends. I used to be to where I had no friends. I didn't start making friends until I was in seventh grade. I'm trying to think back. Cause that's when I met one of my close friends. Yeah. 6th or 7th grade. I didn't start making friends till then, and it was because I would normally typically stay to myself because you can't trust everybody you meet. And some students are easy to switch up. So I didn't start making friends till then, but definitely a pro is that you're free to hang out with whoever you want, but at the same time you have to be careful because some people aren't good and they could be doing good things on school grounds, A and B students and stuff, but you honestly have to just watch who you're hanging out with closely, because some people that act like they're your best friend aren't really your best friend at all. Another pro about school in general is the fact that you have the ability to learn, and I know I've already said, like, learning new things, but you have the ability to put yourself in a mindset where you can learn. Now, if you choose not to, then that is a you problem. That is completely on you, and you cannot blame anybody else for you not wanting to learn or take action. So when you get older, you cannot go say, oh, like, I didn't have the chance to go to public school. Like, I did not have that opportunity. If you have the opportunity to go to public school or go to homeschool or go to any type of schooling and you're not being bullied or anything like that, or you don't have any issues that are provoking you or disabling you from learning, then if you're not learning, that's a you problem. If you're in school or at home and you're supposed to be doing schoolwork and you're playing, then that's a you problem. But when you are out there stuck with zero knowledge and zero information, you can't turn and be like, oh, it's that person's fault, like it's all their fault. I would have known this, that, and the other. Excuse me. I could have done this. You can't do this, that, and the other because you don't have the knowledge, or you don't even know what you're doing, or you can't get into a college you want to get into because you don't have any knowledge. That's your fault. You did that to yourself when you were out playing and stuff and not getting your schoolwork done. That was your fault. And that you can't blame anybody else because nobody said or got in your body and said, hey, you have to go play around with your friends in the halls and skip classes and stuff, and you have to go to that party and stay up late so that in the morning you're tired and don't want to do anything and don't want to wake up. No one told you you have to do that. That was your decision. So when you're sleepy and tired in the morning and you don't want to learn, or you're not applying yourself to learn, that's your fault. And that's honestly your fault because you're doing that to yourself. Another pro is when it comes to not having so much dress code and not having school uniforms, you can express your own style and find people who may like the same things as you. Even in homeschool, we have to do cam checks, and there's been a few times where students may see something in somebody else's background, or see a hoodie they're wearing, or a jacket, or a shirt, and be like, oh, that's cool. And in public school and in homeschool, those are both places you can make friends. There's so many events that go on in my homeschool that you can go make friends. You have that ability. You're not like restricted to home. Like, there's outings and spots near me and stuff. There's little gatherings and stuff, social sessions where you can go and meet new people. So it's not really like, oh, you're homeschool, you can't go meet new people, because you can go meet new people. You just have to find the right people. And there are some good students in K-12, but in every schooling system, in every type, public school and homeschool, you're going to run across people that may not be that good, and you can also run across people that are really good and really nice. But typically, since I've gotten in high school, I've made a few friends, but I try and stay to myself and just get my work done, because some students play extremely too much, and I don't want to fall into the group of playing too much, not getting work done, and then everybody else is distracted and cannot get their work done. But yeah, that is going to be the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit those post notifications to be notified each and every time I post a video. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!